dad. I'm 17 years old, almost 18, in about 2 weeks and a half. And one of the things that sets me apart from my fellow contestants is my accent. I was born in Belgium and moved to America about 2 years ago. Another thing that sets me apart from my fellow contestants is my global outlook. I feel like because of where I've traveled, of the languages I speak, I have a much broader global perspective than the other contestants. And I feel like that's a very good thing to bring to Dao High, especially because Dao High is sort of updating itself, if you will, and moving into more of a global perspective with IB and such things. The most inspiring person to me is Martin Luther King, which I know is quite of a strange one to say, but even though I will never have to face the same types of adversity that he did when he was alive, the way he carried himself with such respect and manner and treated others is something that I aspire to be and aspire to have. I tend to be quite dramatic and emotional and at times, and I think it's good to tune it back like he did and sort of be respectful to others and yet still manage to make such a big difference in the world. And one of the things I would change about our society today for the future is our accountability. I feel like right now, in these uncertain times, we tend to look outwards and blame others for our problems. I do this all the time. And I think it's really important that in the future we start to reflect on ourselves and look at ourselves and our actions and see if we were part of the problem or if we could sort of find a way to help solve the current issues or the future issues that we will have in our world.
I'm Sam Hatfield. Where do I see myself in 10 years? Honestly, I'm not really sure. Right now, I'm just enjoying high school while it lasts. Alright, so what makes Dao High so special? I just think the academic environment as well as our Charger spirit and our togetherness really contribute to a great high school. So what sets me apart from the other Mr. Charger contestants? I think it's my ability to follow directions and do what's asked of me and answer questions directly.
Hello everyone. Today we have 3 questions we have to answer. Question 1. What makes me different from the other contestants? Well, right off the bat, I would say I always have optimism in my life. No matter what. If it's a bad situation, you can always think, well, is the glass half full or is the glass half empty? Well, it still has water in it, so it's half full in my eyes. So I think no matter how bad the situation is, you can always have optimism. And I don't think that everyone in the world always is optimistic. So I think that would set me apart. Question 2. Who is the most inspiring person in your life? I would have to go with Daniel Duncan. Daniel is always positive. He's always spreading positivity, and he always does what he pleases. When I'm older, I hope that I can do what I want rather than do something that I don't want. You know what I mean? So I think Daniel inspires me to live the life that I want and be who I want to be, if that makes sense. Daniel Duncan is a great role model. Question 3. What is one thing I want to change? Well, I would get rid of the coronavirus. It's getting old. It needs to go. I want to be allowed to see my friends again. And honestly, online school is worse than regular school. So I'd just rather go back to school and I'd rather see my friends. So I'd get rid of the coronavirus. That's the one thing I would change.
Hello everyone, my name is Evan Trotter-Wright and I'm so excited to be a part of Mr. Charger 2020. First off, one of the things that really sets me apart from all the other participants is my overwhelming comedic superiority and well-roundedness. Now don't get me wrong, the competition this year is insane. This is one of the greatest group of guys I've ever seen. However, I feel I am incredibly good looking, insanely talented, ridiculously smart, stupidly humble, and of course, funny. And if you don't believe me, just ask the over 13,000 people following me on TikTok if over 1 million likes means anything. Second, one of the people I admire most in life is Mr. Ted Davis. Every time I see him, he's got a smile on his face and he's so full of energy, and that is really inspiring to see. He makes me want to go out there and have the best day ever every single day, and his energy makes me believe that it's possible. Finally, in the future, I don't just want to see a world where everybody's loving and accepting of one another no matter what. I don't just want to see a world where people are happy and everybody's living together in peace and harmony. But I want to see a world where sig figs no longer exist. Thank you very much for your time and enjoy Mr. Charger.
Something that sets me apart from the others is that I can do a kickflip. The most inspiring person in my life has to be Nacho's Nate. His work ethic and devotion to putting videos out in a timely manner is truly inspiring. And I'd love to see a McChicken go from $1 to 50 cents. That'd be pretty cool.
The most inspiring person would have to be Marshawn Lynch. Because he once said, I know I'm gonna get got, but I'm gonna get mine more than I get got though. And those words, they touched me. I'm just here so I don't get fined. Now, there's so much I want to change in this world. We all know that people need a lot of help. But first and foremost, I'd start with those pesky freshmen. You see, I live with one of them, and I know how hard it can be. For starters, walk faster in the hallway. What's making you go so slow? And then number 2, sit in the back of the student section. You gotta work your way up, gain some respect. Number 3, don't wear camo pants. You have not yet earned that right. And lastly, don't bother me. I have more important things on my mind. Lastly, how do I diversify myself from the other candidates? It's quite simple. I do it for Herb.
Hi, I'm Sean, and today I'm going to be answering some questions. So, first of all, what makes me different from other contestants? Well, I have better nails, for one thing. And I'm also a musical person. I play a lot of music. For the second question, the person that is most inspiring in my life would definitely be my mom. She's just so amazing. She's the smartest person I know, and she never ceases to amaze me with the things that she's accomplished and the things that she's able to inspire me to do too. As for what I think we should change about the world and society, I think that we need to change the people who think it's okay to post a picture of them holding a fish on Instagram. But on a more serious note, homophobia is a really big problem, not just in the US, but around the world. Some people are killed just for being gay. And even in Michigan, gay people can be fired just for being who they are, denied medical service. So, yeah, kind of dark, but you know. Anyways, vote for me for Mr. Charger.
Reiner, what sets me apart from the other Mr. Charger candidates is 1, I catch the most fish. I catch way more fish than Luke does. Jack, Sam, way more. They try, but they don't catch quite as many fish as I do. Number 2, I'm the best golfer. I'm way better than Luke, definitely better than Jack. And Sam Hatfield, it's a joke. He's not even that good at golf. I'm better than him too. Lastly, Collin. Does Collin even golf? I'm way better than Collin. Who's my role model? My role model is my dad. Quite frankly, he's one of the very best. We have a lot of people looking into it, believe me, a lot of people. I know more about role models than anybody does. He's a huge part of my life, and quite frankly, he's a tremendous and beautiful person. On a serious note, one thing I would like to see change in the world is hate, violence, and discrimination. There's no room for that. We just need to all love each other.
The most inspiring person in my life is probably Casper the Friendly Ghost. When we think about it, he's a ghost, which is kind of scary to most people, yet he was still able to be friendly to those he didn't even know. I think that's a lesson that we can all learn. What sets me apart from other contenders is this right here, baby, these luscious locks. Ain't nobody else got them. One thing I want to see in today's society is probably the lift of restrictions from our administration. I feel like we should definitely get cool math back, and that's one thing I really want to change.